I'm not even going to say it. I think we all know what's going on all around the world. Maybe your state has even been locked down or quarantined. I live in Michigan. There's rumors of that happening. We haven't had anything official as of this second that I've heard of, but I'm preparing for it to happen in my home service business, as you know, we all can prepare the best that we can. So for those of you whose state has been shut down, you're quarantined, you already know about this and you know what it's like maybe sitting at home. And what I wanted to talk about, as you might have seen in the title of this video, is that this is really, or this can potentially be a fantastic thing for your business if you let it. And hearing that, I know you're probably thinking, how is that even possible? How is it possible that I'm not going to have any income, that my customers are panicking and they don't want to buy from me? Which that may or may not be true. I haven't really noticed that to be true, but it could be happening. So you're asking yourself, how can I love this situation? How can anything good come out of this? You know, people are panicking. People are going to the grocery store and they're emptying the aisles. The number one thing that you can do for your home service business in this situation is to not be that person. First of all, let's just get that out of the way. Because somebody who's panicked and controlled by anxiety is only going to make things worse for them and everybody else. But back to the situation, how we can get some good out of that. You have two options. Your first option is to be that person and to live in a state of uncontrolled anxiety and to panic and to lose your mind and to let your mind run with all the horrible things that it's probably going to be telling you. Okay? Or you can take the other option, which is to say, okay, this and this and this has happened. I can control this and this and this. Therefore, I will control such and such. And I'm not going to worry about the other half. I prefer the second option because if you can't control aspects of a situation, there's always things that you can't control in life. I mean, this applies to literally everything, but in a worldwide pandemic, I feel like it's a good point to be brought up, and it's more important now than ever. If there's something in life you cannot control, you have to recognize it, and you have to say, I'm not going to let that particular thing bother me, because there's no use. If you're going to let something bother you that you have no control over, that's your fault, essentially. Essentially, you are bringing on your own suffering. And I don't know anybody that would agree that that's a good idea. So as a home service business owner, you know, you're going to have concerns and you're going to be wondering how this is going to impact you. So let's say your state is shut down. You can't leave your home, or you're quarantined. You can't do any business or any work. We're not to that point. So far. Probably within the next day or two it'll happen. But say you're in that situation. You can't work. You don't have income coming in. Okay? You can't get new customers. Your old customers are not calling you. Those are all things that you cannot control. Okay? So those are going to happen whether you're upset or not. So why are you going to give them any energy? You can take those things and you can say, look, that's going to happen, but I'm not going to let that affect how I feel and how I react. So first step is recognizing that, taking those things that you can't control and pushing them back out into the universe. Okay. Now the second part is to look at what you can control. So being a home service business at home, I think we all know that there's plenty of work, if not just as more work, that we can do at home. Now that could be updating your website, switching to a new customer service management, updating your contacts, educating yourself on your industry, reading Facebook groups about your industry, learning better techniques, writing down your systems. When you get rid of what you cannot control and what doesn't matter, or what you cannot control and what doesn't matter in this moment. Then you can focus on obviously what you can control and how you can make this situation better or make the best of it. So I'm saying you should love this situation because it's going to allow you to do some things that maybe you may not have had time to do, or maybe you neglected when you were working every day in your business. And as a business owner, I know there are things that you neglected in the field when you were working, when you're packed with customers. There are things that you're not paying attention to that are suffering in the background. So this situation actually is giving you time to fix those things. It's actually helping your business because it's forcing you to fix what was wrong. If you decide to control what you can and not worry about what you can't. That's kind of the big if. You have to decide that this situation is good for you. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be going to my website. I'm going to be proofreading, writing, making sure everything looks nice and is ready for when things get back going again. I'm going to pause my ads because if nobody's buying and can go out, why am I going to spend money? I can control that. I'm going to educate myself. I have this bookshelf behind me full of books. I've read a really good percentage of them. Some of them I haven't. I'm constantly buying more to read. I'm going to improve my routine now that I don't have to worry about being somewhere at a certain time. I can use that time to spend time with my wife, my dog. I can focus on the things that are really important for however long this might last. Those are things that I can control. Those are beautiful things that I can control in this situation. And why wouldn't I strengthen those things when I have the energy and time to do so? So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. Basically, one ending sentence for you. There's things that you can't control about the situation. You have to look at them and you have to act and do what, you have to do what you can, but whatever you can't do, whatever you can't control, that needs to be off your mind. Or maybe not even off your mind. It can be, you can still think about it, but you need to be able to say, that's out of my control. I'm not going to let that bother me. Because ultimately it's your choice if you're going to be upset or in fear or in panic about something. And then the other half of that is, what are you going to do with what you can control? Are you going to take advantage of this time that you have? Are you going to let this situation, are you going to leverage this situation from a negative to a positive, to fix your business, to dive into the areas that you've been neglecting? It's an opportunity. So that's what I would encourage you to do. It can be hard when everybody around you is panicking. Maybe your family is panicking. Maybe your wife and kids are scared. And maybe even if you're pretty good at managing yourself, that might freak you out because maybe you can hold it together fine on your own, but if everybody else can't, that's gonna wear on you. So I would, just do your best, try to keep your cool, focus on what you can control and fixing what, you can. I do want to end with a final excerpt actually from a book called The Obstacle Is the Way. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I actually just finished reading it for the second time. It's perfect for these times. My channel's not even large enough to be sponsored by this book, but I recommend you buy it. I think it is actually on sale for $2 on Kindle right now. So it's all about facing obstacles, but I want to read one page to you. And it's actually a story about Thomas Edison. This is gonna make you laugh. I'll try to be fast. Let's see. At age 67, Thomas Edison returned home early one evening from another day at the laboratory. Shortly after dinner, a man came rushing into his house with urgent news. A fire had broken out at Edison's research and production campus a few miles away. Fire engines from 8 nearby towns rushed to the scene, but they could not contain the blaze. Fueled by the strange chemicals in the various buildings, green and yellow flames shot up 6 and 7 stories, threatening to destroy the entire empire Edison has spent his life building. Edison calmly but quickly made his way to the fire, through the now hundreds of onlookers and devastated employees looking for his son. "Go get your mother and all her friends," he told his son with childlike excitement. "They'll never see a fire like this again." That was Edison's reaction to losing everything that he had built. I mean, his life's work, everything, his prototypes, his research was gone. And it can feel like that sometimes with your business. It might feel like your business was taken from you. I'm going to take the Edison way and say, look, we're never going to see a fire like this again. You might as well enjoy it, right? So, continuing for another. That's a pretty amazing reaction. But when you think about it, there was really no other response. What should Edison have done? Wept? Gone angry? Quit and gone home? What exactly would that have accomplished? You know the answer now. Nothing. So he didn't waste time indulging himself. And I love that story because it's so not what you would expect. You know, you lose your life's work and hours, years of work gone. And his reaction was, everybody come look at this giant fire. You're probably never gonna see something like this again. So I just think that's a great attitude to have. And I think we can do something similar with this situation. You know, we're never gonna, we might see another situation like this, but so far, most of us probably haven't dealt with a situation like this. So let's use it. Look at all this time we have. Let's use it. All right, that's what I wanna say. Have a good one, guys.